Hey fashion lovers, join me, let's make this reversible pinafore peplum jacket. Here we have our basic bodies. I've already drawn my basic bodies without any dart. So I'm going to draw out my neckline, both front and back neckline. For the front neckline, I'm using 4 inches. And for the back neckline, I'm going to use 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and use my curve rule to draw the back neck curve. On the shoulder line, I'm going to come in by 1 inch. And since this jacket has a band, I'm using 2 inches for the band. So I'm going to remove 2 inches on the waist. So I'll go ahead and come up by 2 inches and I trim it out. On the waistline, I'm going to measure half of the waist measurement, which is 4 inches. Or you can also use your bust span, that is the nipple to nipple measurement, and mine is 8 inches divided by 2 gives me 4 inches. So I'm going to connect a straight line from the shoulder to the mid waist, and I'm going to trim it off. So this is our front and back part. We'll start by cutting the back part. I'll first of all remove or cut off the back neckline. I'll go ahead and cut the back part before cutting the front. Take note the back part is on fold. These are the 2 Ankara fabrics I'm going to use. So I'm going to begin with this. I'll fold my fabric into 2, place the pattern, pin it down, after pinning it down, we are going to add allowances, sewing allowances. So we are adding ½ inch of sewing allowance on the shoulder line. On the neckline, I'm not adding any allowance. On the side, I'm also adding ½ inch sewing allowance. And on the waistline, I also added ½ inch sewing allowance, which will be used to attach it to the band. So I'm going ahead to cut it out. So this is the back part. I'll go ahead and remove the pins. And the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out the front neckline. So let's go ahead and cut the front part. I've already arranged my fabric and pinned the pattern on it. I'm going to also add sewing allowance all around, and since the center front is not on fold, I'm going to add ½ inch allowance there as well. On the waistline, I added ½ inch. On the shoulder, I added ½ inch sewing allowance, and on the side line, I also added ½ inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So this is the front and the back. I've also folded my material to cut the band. Since my band is 2 inches, I'm cutting 3 inches so that I can use 1/2 inch to join the peplum and another 1/2 inch to join the upper part. So at the end, the band will come out 2 inches. So after drawing, I'll go ahead and arrange it well and then cut it out. So here we have the band of 3 inches. I'm going to quickly fold my fabric for the peplum. We'll first of all fold into 2 and fold again into 4. So for the peplum, we are using our waist to hip measurement. And I'm also going to use the waist circumference divided by 2 to have half of my waist, and then I divide it by 6.28. For this peplum, I'm cutting a 720 degrees peplum. So for this fabric, I'm going to cut 2 circle flares to attach to each other to form 720 degrees. So I'm measuring 13.5 inches all round. And for the radius, I'll use 4 inches all round, which will be a bit bigger than the waist. And I'm going to put a few pleats. So to get your 720 degrees peplum, you divide your waist measurement into 2. My waist is 32. I divided by 2 and it gave me 16. I use 16 divided by 6.28 to get the radius. So I've gone ahead and cut the 2 peplums for this orange Ankara. So you see the circle flare, when 2 are joined together, it gives a 720 degree peplum. So everything we have cut on the orange fabric will be repeated on the blue fabric. So I've gone ahead and cut everything. So these are the various parts. We have the front for both Ankaras, the back part for both Ankaras. We have the band. This is the band for the blue Ankara and the band for the red Ankara. These are also the 2 peplums for each Ankara. So the next thing I will do is to cut the interfacing. I'm using stay. I've gone ahead and ironed the interfacing on all the parts. I ironed interfacing on all the parts. So we have the back part here. We are going to place the front on the back, good sides facing each other. And we are going to sew on the shoulder line. For the peplums, I've also gone ahead and ironed stay on all the peplums, and I'm going to open it up. I also opened the other peplum, and I'm going to show you how I'll go ahead and join the two. We are going to place the two like so, and we join them. So I'm going to sew here. And I'm going to do the same thing for the orange Ankara. These are the bands, the red Ankara, the orange Ankara, sorry. I'm also going to sew on the shoulder line. So I'll quickly take it to my sewing. I've already sewn it. As you can see, I've joined the two flares together. I'm going to open the allowances and have it well ironed. Same thing for the blue Ankara. I'm going to arrange the open edges of both Ankaras, and I'm going to make the edges a bit rounded at the center front. So the next thing is to look for the midpoint of the two Ankaras, pin them together, and I'm going to sew the lower part of the peplum all round. So I've gone ahead and sewn the peplum. I'm going to notch it all round and flip it over. I'm taking my time to arrange it well so I can give it a good press. I arrange the edges very well so that one Ankara does not show on the other side of the Ankara. The blue should not show on the red side, and the red should not show on the blue side. So I've gone ahead and ironed it neatly. So I've also joined the shoulder of the upper part. I'm going to open the shoulder line and iron it down. I place the two upper parts good sides facing each other. I'm going to pin the shoulder lines, arrange it well so that it matches perfectly. I'm going to sew all round. So I'm taking it to the machine to sew it all round. So this is it, already sewn. I'm going to notch the neckline all round, and then I'm going to flip it out. After flipping it out, I'm going to arrange it very well so that I iron it down neatly. This is the upper part already ironed. I fold the back part in two and I mark the center back. That's the center back I've just marked. And then I'm also going to mark the center of the peplum, which is going to match with the center back of the upper part. For the two bands, I fold it into two and also mark the center. And from that center, I measure my waist circumference, which is 32, that is 16 unfold, and I take away 1. So I'm measuring 15 because I don't want my center front to be closed. I want it a bit open. So this part I've marked is where the peplum will fall on. So I'm matching the center back of the peplum to the midpoint of the band. I'll also pin the rounded part or the center front where my waist ends on the band. Where I marked 15, that's where I'm pinning the rounded part. you can see there is excess peplum, and I'm going to pleat it till it matches with the band. So I'm going to continue pleating the other side all through. Remember, we cut our peplum in excess so that the jacket can have some pleats. So after pleating, we also put the band for the blue Ankara, starting from the center back, and we pin it all through. So we are going to sew it all round. We are going to sew the upper part, and we'll continue sewing the band. This is it. I've sewn the band all round, and I ended where the peplum ends. So I'm going to turn over and pull out the remaining band. I'm going to use this screwdriver and pull it out. After arranging the edges, I push the edges out and arrange it neatly. Same for the other side. Now I'm going to give it a good press. So this is our peplum and the band neatly ironed. So the center that is left open, I went ahead and folded inside with 1/2 inch and ironed for both Ankaras. So I'm going to start putting in the upper part, starting from the center back. We are going to send it in by 1/2 inch. That's the allowance we left at the upper part for sewing. So we place the center back at the center of the peplum. You can measure again to be sure that both sides are equal. So I'm going to pin it down and then move ahead to also place the 2 side fronts. So I'm starting from where the peplum ends, and I place in my upper part, pin it down using 1/2 inch. So this is it. I've pinned it, and the next thing is to top stitch it all through. So our top is ready and looking so beautiful. It's looking really, really beautiful. This is a trendy top. You can put it on with a black top and black trouser or skirt. It is very versatile. You can use even white top, white trouser, anyhow you want it. Please, if you find this tutorial helpful, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification. Do not forget to comment on the comment section and give your opinion about this trendy reversible top. See how beautiful it looks. You can put on both sides depending on what you want. Please kindly comment and give your opinion. Which of these Ankaras do you prefer? The blue and white or the orange Ankara? To me, both are so beautiful. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to more interesting tutorials on Carol Creations.